The knife went in just below the ribs. Quick, silent, final. In a parking lot outside a corner store in suburban America, 19-year-old Michael Thompson bled out on the asphalt for $37 and a cell phone. The security camera caught it all: the struggle, the flash of metal, the way his body crumpled like paper. His killer was 17 years old. David and Sarah Thompson had built their entire world around their only son. Michael wasn't just their child, he was their miracle baby. Born after 7 years of trying, countless prayers, and nearly giving up hope. Now he was gone. The call came at 2:47 on a Tuesday afternoon. Sarah was folding laundry. David was in his home office, preparing for Wednesday night's Bible study. The detective's words didn't make sense at first. "There's been an incident, your son." "I'm so sorry." Sarah's scream could be heard 3 houses down. David didn't scream. He couldn't. Something inside him just stopped. Like someone had pulled the plug on his soul. The next hours blurred together. The hospital. The morgue. That terrible moment when they had to identify their boy's body. Michael's face was peaceful, almost like he was sleeping. But the blood on his shirt told a different story. Back home, the house felt wrong. Too quiet. Too empty. Michael's basketball shoes by the door. His half-eaten breakfast still on the kitchen table. His acceptance letter to engineering school pinned to the refrigerator. David walked into his son's room and lost it. He grabbed Michael's pillow, pressed it to his face, and screamed until his throat was raw. The rage came in waves, hot, violent, consuming everything. Why him? God? Why him? The killer had a name now. Marcus Williams, 17, previous arrests for theft, lived 6 miles away in a neighborhood David had never visited. The detective said it was a robbery gone wrong. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong. Everything was wrong. Sarah stopped eating, stopped sleeping, stopped talking. She'd sit in Michael's room for hours, holding his high school jersey, rocking back and forth. David tried to be strong for her, but inside, he was drowning in an ocean of hate. He started having dreams, vivid ones, finding Marcus Williams, making him suffer, making him understand what he'd stolen. In his dreams, David's hands were always covered in blood, and he always woke up feeling satisfied. That scared him. 3 weeks after the funeral, David found himself in his study at 3 a.m., unable to sleep again. His Bible lay open on the desk. He hadn't touched it since Michael died. But something made him look down at the page. Matthew chapter 6 verses 14 to 15 stared back at him. "For if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses." David slammed the Bible shut. No, not this time. This is different. But the words wouldn't leave him alone. They followed him to the grocery store, to work, to bed. Other verses joined them, like unwelcome visitors. Love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. Forgive 70 times 7. He fought back with his own arguments. This wasn't some petty offense. This was murder. His son was dead. Dead. How could God ask this of him? One night, Sarah found him weeping in the garage. Michael's bicycle in his lap. "I can't do it," he whispered. "I can't forgive him." Sarah said nothing. She just held him while they both cried. 6 weeks passed. The hate was eating David alive. He'd lost 20 pounds. Couldn't focus at work. Snapped at everyone. Even his faith, once the cornerstone of his life, felt like a cruel joke. Then came the night that changed everything. David was alone in Michael's room, holding that same photograph. Michael at his high school graduation. That huge smile. Those bright eyes full of possibility. And suddenly, like a thunderclap, a thought hit him. Michael wouldn't want this. His son, the kid who befriended every outcast at school, who spent summers building houses for the homeless, who once gave his brand new Jordans to a classmate with torn shoes, would he want his father consumed by hatred? David fell to his knees. For the first time since the murder, he didn't pray for justice or revenge. He prayed for something else entirely. Lord, I can't do this. I can't forgive. But you forgave me when I didn't deserve it. You forgave the men who crucified your Son. If there's even a drop of that grace left for me, help me. Change my heart, because I can't change it myself. The trial date arrived like a storm cloud. The courtroom was packed. Friends, family, reporters, everyone waiting to see justice served. The prosecutor promised to seek the maximum sentence. Life without parole. Marcus Williams sat at the defendant's table, looking smaller than David had imagined. Just a kid in an oversized suit. Hands shaking, eyes fixed on the floor. When it came time for victim impact statements, Sarah couldn't do it. She sat frozen, tears streaming down her face. So David stood up. The room went silent. He pulled out his prepared statement, 3 pages of pain, anger, and loss. Then he looked at Marcus Williams. Really looked at him. Saw the fear, the regret, the broken boy who'd made one terrible, irreversible choice. David folded up his papers and spoke from his heart. My son Michael is gone. Nothing will bring him back. For weeks, I've fantasized about making you suffer the way we've suffered. I've hated you with every fiber of my being. Marcus flinched. But I'm done hating you. Because hate won't bring Michael back. It's only killing me. So today, in front of all these people, I need to say something I never thought I'd say. David's voice cracked. He steadied himself. I forgive you, Marcus. Not because you deserve it. You don't. Not because it's easy. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. I forgive you because my God forgave me. Because my son would want me to. Because I refused to let your choice destroy 2 families instead of 1. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. The judge's eyes widened. Marcus Williams looked up for the first time, tears streaming down his face. I'll pray for you, David continued, every day, that you'll find redemption, that you'll make something of your life, that Michael's death won't be completely meaningless. David sat down. The courtroom exploded in whispers. Sarah grabbed his hand and squeezed it tight. Marcus Williams was sentenced to 25 years. But something had shifted in that courtroom. Something profound. The healing didn't happen overnight. Forgiveness isn't magic. It's a choice you make again and again. Especially on the hard days. The anniversaries. The moments when you see other fathers with their sons. But David was free. Free from the poison of hatred. Free to remember Michael with love instead of rage. Free to honor his son's memory by living the way Michael had lived, with compassion, grace, and hope. 6 months later, David started visiting prisons, sharing his story. Sarah joined him eventually. They started a foundation in Michael's name, working with at-risk youth, trying to stop the violence before it starts. And Marcus Williams? He writes to them from prison. Not often, but sometimes. He's earning his GED, reading the Bible David sent him, trying to become someone different than the desperate kid who picked up that knife. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past. It doesn't minimize the pain or excuse the crime. Michael Thompson is still gone, and that wound will never fully heal. But forgiveness does something else. Something radical. Something divine. It breaks the cycle. It chooses hope over hate. It says that even in our darkest moments, when everything in us screams for revenge, we can choose a different path. The path of the impossible. The path that sets us free. Because sometimes, the only way to save your own soul is to forgive the one who tried to destroy it.